Pain at the pump, making its grand return just before the midterms. That's convenient. Gas prices expected to rise after OPEC member nations agreed to cut global oil production by 2 million barrels a day. President Biden loved taking credit when prices went down, but the White House is busy blaming Russia when they go up. Watch.
You've said the president was responsible for gas prices coming down. Is the president responsible for gas prices going up?
So it's a lot more nuance than that, right? There have been global challenges that we have dealt with. There's been pandemic and there's been Putin's war. And Putin's war has increased gas prices at the pump.
Remember that suck-up fist bump in Saudi Arabia? Biden groveled for more oil production and the Saudis snubbed us. What was the point of that whole trip? Here with me now to discuss, MaxFunds.com co-founder and Fox News contributor, Jonas Max Ferris. So, Jonas, normally when we're entering global uncertainty and a possible recession, isn't that when energy prices typically come down? What are we seeing?
And they were coming down. There was almost $130 a barrel at one point, and then the Fed started raising rates to cool the overheated, high inflationary economy. And oil was coming down. You saw it at the pump. It was over $5, and now it's lower. But normally it would keep going down. We'd probably get to $50 a barrel and have a mini recession, and then the inflation would go away. But OPEC is not going to allow oil to get that cheap because they made a decision to cut oil production at an already time when you generally wouldn't do that, which is kind of high prices. You'd actually want to try to make money from that. But there's a lot of reasons they're doing it, and there are some of them are more sinister than others. But on one side, we're not very friendly with most of the major producers. We've got some argument, whether it's Iran or Russia or Saudis, Venezuela, and you need someone, they all get along on some level. I mean, they have their own OPEC production arguments. And then we want one of them to kick in oil, and they don't really care about us. They care about their organization that is designed to maintain a high energy price. So their countries, which have very little to export except energy, can make as much money as possible. I don't understand why Biden's so surprised by this, but they are helping the Russians in this case and themselves sell at a high price and keep the flow of money going in to counter the recession we're sort of trying to cause but are scared to really cause to fight inflation.
All right, so how do you bring down demand if we're entering into a season where people need to heat their homes? Here in the United States, Western Europe, all over the world. So demand is only going to go up. How do you temper that?
Interesting. One of the reasons I think they're doing this right now is we're kind of running out of excess oil that was in this SPR, which we shouldn't have been tapping this aggressively because it puts us in a dangerous position. And now that we're running low on that, now if they cut supply, another reason is the West, the EU region is trying this bizarre way of capping the price you can pay for Russian oil and gas, which doesn't make any sense. It's Nixonian in style. And no, if you are in the oil business or for a country in OPEC, the worst thing you want to hear is you're capping the price of our product. Well, guess what? We're going to cut the production of our product, and that will counter whatever cap you think you're going to do, because now where's your oil going to come from? And then the oil price is going to go to a higher price, and they're going to have to get it from Russia. So to your original question, if you have an organization that's going to crimp the supply to maintain a high price, then we would have to organize with Europe as the demanders primarily, although we produce a lot of oil, and produce and demand less. That's how we would counter that and drive the price down. Now, yeah, we can do it this expensive way with high interest rates, which is going to cause a real estate crash. But at the end of the day, you would want to reduce the consumption of energy. And that's painful economically here, but it's also how you fight back at OPEC and Russia. And we're doing the opposite. All the states, California, Florida now, doing gas tax holidays. They're giving you money to buy more gas. The UK, who's making a complete mockery of economics and is a joke right now, is basically paying your power bill because it got too high. That's the opposite of what OPEC is doing. What you're saying is we're gonna pay for the bill that's high to Russia and to Saudis and Venezuela because we don't want you to consume less volume. But ultimately, we have to consume less volume in the short run. We also need longer-term strategies for more production, more nukes. But in the short run, because there's a short-term cut in production by OPEC, we would have to hit demand, not subsidize it, and then arbitrarily try to cap the price of Russian oil. This is not economically how you solve this problem. They're actually making sense. We're the ones who can't make sense because we're scared of the voters in all these countries, and we don't want to tell them that you have to consume less energy while we're in this problem over
as Daniel Turner has pointed out, a recession is the worst way to see demand in the energy market. Like that's the last way you want prices to come down. But it may come to that. I just hope at some point the White House, they're so busy giving themselves high five when the price of gas drops. When it goes up, they should take responsibility for that. They should take the blame, and they never, ever will. A bunch of bad actors and a bunch of gas jerks, but not you, Jonas. Thank you very much for your insight. Brilliant.